Hi, the seminar, worth only 20% of the module, but an important learning experience, hopefully for the entire group. There are going to be 4 of you, and the difference in this particular exercise is you're actually going to be assessed. Not individually, you'll get a group assessment mark. So essentially your presentation will be not as good as or bad as the weakest link, but obviously you need to plan and manage your presentation effectively to optimize the skills within your group. Skills of research, skills of script writing, skills of AV, skills of presentation, it's up to you. However, some basic considerations to think about before you actually get down to do that. Obviously, research, the topic you can select from one of the 9 or 10 topics we've come up with already, or if you don't like any of them, come up with your own. Pass it through me. You must get my permission in writing to do this. Writing can be an email saying, yes, this topic is acceptable. I need to know what you're doing, and we need to know it for QA, not QA, quality assurance procedures. So, topic, choose one, let me know. Write your own if you don't like it. I'll approve or disapprove, whatever. Research and development will provide some further resources to help you research your topic, but also collectively as a group, post sources or resources you come across in your travels on the Moodle board to help other groups. Collaborative learning. If you find something interesting on cyber, on hacking or ethics or whatever, post it. Be collaborative. Share. Okay, some more technical fine questions. Number 1, the physical environment. Can't do much with it. You're probably presenting in either 1 or 2 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 at Meridian House in November. However, check the rooms are appropriate, and if possible, and if you want the attention of your audience, do you need and or want, and can you remove or put on a prone position the monitors so you can address people eye-to-eye contact, so you can actually engage with your audience rather than let them, as some of you may be accused of doing so, hide behind your monitors. It's easier for you if you can see people's faces when you're presenting rather than sort of wondering what's going on behind a monitor at the back of the room. Just an aside, think about that when you're actually doing that next year in lectures. Okay, lay the room out. At the front of the room, you're presenting. Make sure you're comfortable where you are. Make sure the presenter and the presenting team are comfortable where they are. Some people say dress up for presentations, not professional. It's entirely up to you, but I would probably, for want of a safe bet, be smart casual to smart. Shorts aren't much use in November anyway. Okay, front of the room, your presentation. Okay, check the presentation works on the machinery you're going to be using. If you're using PowerPoint, make sure that the builds and transitions are actually appropriate to the machine you're working on. And also, do you really need them? AVs are another topic. Presentation space. What are you going to do with the other 3 members of the team when one person is actually presenting? Are they going to be standing or are they sitting? If people stand, you'll be surprised how much people fidget. Body tics, other offensive behaviour which you won't mention. It happens. You can be videoed, you may well have been videoed in past colleges or schools, and you'll be pleasantly or unpleasantly surprised at how people behave. So just sit people down, cross their legs, sit comfortably, don't fidget, then you aren't distracting the audience attention from the presentation that's being made in front of you. The presentation itself. Timing, time management is a function of appropriate content, but also frequent and managed rehearsals. Bear in mind on the day you're going to be quicker than you actually are, so if you've been asked to do 15 minutes, which you have, perhaps you ought to think about slightly more than 15 when you're rehearsing. Plus or minus 10%, we're not going to get that worried, but anything beyond that, you'll get stopped. Rehearse, practice, 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 but remember in the brief, you're not actually going to have to divide the presentation into 4 equal 3.666 minute sections. Utilize the skill groups so that the Persons that are best at presenting present the most, and those that are less confident do other work. Okay. We want all to participate to a degree, but don't feel that you have to have 1/4 of the time. Structure presentation, depending upon your topic, but essentially there is an introduction, get your attention of your audience, there is the argument, counter-argument, and conclusion and questions. The videos down the side will show you how this works in some commercial and some academic contexts, but practice. And remember, in your diploma days, which are, I think, Thursdays, there's nothing to stop you coming across as a group, making an appointment with me, Judy, or Glenn, wherever we are, and going through your presentation and saying, well, what do you think? We can't assess it, but we can comment and work in progress. It's called formative assessment. It's underpinning of higher education. So don't feel you have to go in blind, do the presentation. Okay. Good luck. Thank you.